They thought she was weak. Just another new girl trying to find her way through the crowded hallway. The laughter, the whispers, the cruel shove. It all happened in seconds. Her books scattered, her heart raced, but her eyes stayed calm. No one knew who she really was, or what she carried behind that silence. Because sometimes the quiet ones hold storms, and when they rise, they don't just fight back. They make the world remember their name. It was her first day at Jefferson High, a place buzzing with noise, clicks, and curious eyes. Maya Daniels held her backpack close as she walked through the long, echoing hallway. Her family had just moved from Atlanta, and her mom's words still echoed in her mind. "Keep your head high, baby. New beginnings aren't supposed to be easy." She tried to smile, but she could already feel it. The stares, the whispers, that uneasy silence when she passed by a group of girls leaning on the lockers. They looked her up and down like she didn't belong there. Maya was used to this, the judgments that came before any words did. Her skin, her braids, her quiet way of moving. It all seemed to threaten people who didn't even know her. But what they couldn't see was what she'd left behind in Georgia. Trophies, medals, and years of discipline in a sport that had taught her strength didn't always have to be loud. She wasn't there to prove anything. She just wanted to fit in, focus on her studies, and make her mom proud. But some people can't stand peace. They look for cracks to break it. And in the crowded halls of Jefferson High, Maya was about to find out that silence, too, can provoke cruelty. By the second week, Maya had learned the rhythm of Jefferson High. Or at least she tried to. The crowded cafeteria, the hallways that echoed with laughter, and the teachers who looked right through you if you didn't raise your hand fast enough. She spent her lunches in the art room, sketching quiet shapes, while the noise outside blurred into a low hum. But peace has a way of drawing attention, especially from those who need someone to break. It started small, a shoulder bump in the hallway, a snicker when she walked past. Then came the whispers that followed her everywhere. The new girl, the quiet one, the charity case. By Friday, they didn't bother hiding it anymore. 3 girls ruled that hallway. Rachel, Jenna, and Bree. Their laughter carried power. They didn't need to fight. Their words did enough damage. Rachel, the ringleader, wore her confidence like armor. Shiny, loud, and cruel. That morning, Maya was carrying a stack of books, her schedule clutched in one hand, when she turned the corner. The hallway went silent for a moment. Rachel's voice cut through the noise. "Watch where you're going, new girl," she said, her tone dripping with fake sweetness. Before Maya could respond, a shove came from behind. Sudden, hard. The books scattered across the floor like fallen feathers. A sharp gasp echoed from somewhere down the hall. Laughter followed. Maya froze. Her palms burned from the fall, but her eyes stayed still, focused. She could hear them laughing, the sound sharp and cold. Inside, something shifted. Not rage, not fear. Something deeper. A stillness that came from years of training, from every fight, every fall, every breath she'd learned to control. Rachel leaned down, smirking. "You're in the wrong place, sweetheart. Maybe next time, try walking with your eyes open." The crowd waited, everyone expecting tears, an apology, something weak to feed on. But Maya said nothing. She picked up her books one by one, her movements calm, deliberate. Then she looked up, not at Rachel, but straight ahead, through her. That look, it wasn't anger, it was something quieter, heavier. The kind of look that said, "I've seen worse than you." The bell rang. The moment broke. The bullies laughed one last time before walking away. But as they disappeared down the hallway, Rachel glanced back, and for a split second, she felt it. A chill she couldn't explain, because the way Maya stood there, steady, unshaken, it didn't feel like defeat. It felt like warning. Monday morning came with rain. The hallway floors glistened. The lockers rattled with the sound of wet shoes and teenage noise. Maya walked in quietly, her hood slightly damp, her books tucked under her arm. She'd promised herself not to think about Friday, not to care. But sometimes, silence isn't enough to keep the storm away. Rachel and her crew were waiting, not by accident. "Look who's back!" Rachel called out, loud enough for the whole hallway to hear. Maya kept walking. The laughter followed. Then came the shove. Harder this time. Her shoulder hit the locker. The books slipped again. This time the laughter was louder. Phones were out. "Cameras ready." "Maybe you didn't hear me," Rachel said, stepping closer. "I said," but before she could finish, Maya's hand moved. Quick, smooth, and without hesitation. The next thing anyone saw was Rachel's wrist, twisted and pinned mid-air, her smirk gone, her balance breaking. A single motion, precise, practiced, unstoppable. Gasps filled the hallway. Maya didn't strike again. She didn't need to. Her calm was sharper than any punch. She helped Rachel regain her balance and whispered something only she could hear. "Don't ever mistake kindness for weakness." Rachel stumbled back, red-faced, humiliated, not by pain, but by silence. No one moved. No one laughed. Even the teachers frozen at the far end of the hall didn't seem to know what to say. Maya picked up her books, stood tall, and walked away. Not fast, not proud, just steady. Behind her, the phones kept recording. But for the first time, the story wasn't about a victim. It was about strength, quiet, controlled, undeniable. And as Rachel rubbed her wrist, she finally realized the girl she'd pushed down wasn't someone to pity. She was someone to remember. Word spread faster than wildfire. By lunchtime, the video had already made its way across the school. But what shocked everyone wasn't the takedown. It was how she did it. Calm, controlled, with dignity. There was no screaming, no chaos, just precision and restraint. Teachers called her to the office, expecting a fight story. What they got instead was silence, and a folder full of certificates from the Georgia State Karate Federation. Her mother had placed them there, just in case. The principal looked at her, speechless. When Rachel and her friends were brought in, they couldn't even look her in the eyes. They weren't suspended. Maya asked that they not be. "Let them learn," she said quietly. "That's enough." From that day, things changed. Not suddenly, but noticeably. The whispers stopped. The hallway grew quieter when she walked through. The same students who once laughed now nodded in respect. But for Maya, it wasn't about revenge. It never was. It was about something her sensei once told her. Real power is when you don't have to prove it. At home that evening, she sat by the window as the rain eased. Her mom looked up from the kitchen, smiling faintly. "Tough day?" she asked. Maya shook her head. "No," she said softly. "A necessary one. Because sometimes the most powerful lessons don't come from fists. They come from control, from knowing who you are even when the world tries to knock you down." And as the sun broke through the clouds outside, one thought lingered. How many more hearts would open if strength was shown through peace, not pride?